Well, good morning. Pastor Greg here, Faith Lutheran Church, Harvey, North Dakota, coming to you with my midweek message, midweek check-in, short devotion. Uh, Glad you're here today with me, taking a few moments to hear what I have to say. I'm thankful that you're with me, and I'm thankful that you continue to watch. So we're continuing on here in the summer. It is actually July 7th. It's Thursday. I normally record these on Wednesday, but with the 4th of July weekend, and I took a little extra time off on Tuesday to kind of recoup. Um, and so just running a little behind today, and Marilyn is out of the office this week, so joining trying to tend to a few of the things that I need to tend to that she didn't complete. She didn't complete them because she wasn't here to complete them. Not that she wasn't. That sounds bad, doesn't it? She had everything ready to go. I just need to double check and then print things. So that sounds way, way, way better, doesn't it? A lot of vacation things going on in the summer, of course, as always. People spending time at the lake, people spending time uh, vacationing, so we're just, summer's so short up here. We take our time to do that and continue on in our lives. So things going on here at the church. I just want to first of all again thank everyone. We had two large funerals this last week, Junior Fall and Darlene at Pelt, and I just want to thank everyone who handles all the things that need to be handled when a funeral happens, and makes my job a lot easier knowing that I don't need to worry about those things. So again, big thank you to everyone, especially the Darlene's funeral, which turned out to be a little bit larger than expected, which is, I mean, it was wonderful to see all the family and everything there, but it does put a little strain on other things. So that's all right. It's all good. Other things that are happening here at the church this week, the AC guys are still here, continuing to install the air conditioning in the sanctuary. We're glad to have them. Shout out to Scott Netz, who's working on the electric right now, or at least yesterday he was working on it. I don't know if we got it done or he'll be back today. And then just this is our leadership met on Tuesday night, and I requested some time off. I'll be taking vacation the 18th through the 25th of this month. My daughter Kate and the kids are coming up, and we're going to spend some time with them. It'll all be good, and just some time relaxing, Judy and I, away from the hubbub of the world. Kevin Roller will officiate in my absence, and also if there's anything else that you need pastoral wise, he can certainly help with that, as well as I always have my cell phone with me. All right. Are there any other things that are going on? Other than that, worship continues at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. We're glad to have you. We also still continue to live stream, and we're glad to have you that way. Or just join us with a click of a mouse or a touchpad, and voila, you're on. We're glad to be able to serve that function. You can also watch us Wednesday evening on the local channels. That's an edited version, just so you know, because we only have to an hour to present, and so we have to edit down our services a little bit because most of the services go somewhere between an hour and 10, sometimes as long as an hour and 15 minutes. So we delete things that don't really necessarily need to be in there. Anyway, enough of that. So that's what's going on. We're actually beginning to think about what the fall's bringing now that we're into to July, and we're just reminding ourselves that that's not that far away. So that's all I'm going to say. So the texts this week, I'm kind of just going to bring to you the Luke text. So if you want to stop and read that, it's Luke chapter 10, verses 25 through 37. And it's a familiar text. It's the they call it the parable of the Good Samaritan, and and that's really what it is. It's a parable. Jesus talks about the parable, and there's more to the parable than the Good Samaritan, though. And I think that's sometimes we lose some of the other nuances of this text when we continue to look uh, at the Good Samaritan, the Samaritan who sees the man lying on the side of the road, has compassion on him, and then um, takes care of him, pays for all of his housing, tells the innkeeper if there's any other charges to let him know, and he will pay it when he comes back. Sorry, I had to stop and stop the recording, and because I had someone popped in to the office, and I took a couple minutes to talk with them. So sorry about that. And anyway, I just kind of pick up where I think I left off. We were talking about the Good Samaritan and how sometimes we look too much to the Good Samaritan, and how much that we stress all of this story about that person. And it's important. It's an important aspect, of course, of the parable. This parable of someone who sees someone on the side of the road and tends to them, and that's good. But I want to take a quick look today at the lawyer instead. Sometimes we don't think about the beginning and the end of the story. We kind of get stuck in the middle. And so the first verse says, a lawyer stood up to put Jesus to the test. So this lawyer is testing Jesus. And he says, "Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?" And so Jesus asks him, "Well, what's written in the law?" And the law, of course, is the two commandments. You shall love your Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. Jesus says to him, "You have answered correctly. Go do this and you will live." Well, we struggle with that, don't we? We struggle with loving our God and loving our neighbor. And so that's where this parable kicks in. Because the lawyer asks, "Well, who is my neighbor?" Well, then Jesus gives us this parable, and Jesus asks the lawyer at the end, which of these the three people, so the two walked past the man and one helped the man, which of these three do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers? And the lawyer says, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said to him, "You go and do likewise." So the problem here is the lawyer knew what he should do, but does he do it? And we're all like this. We all see the person standing on the side of the road or sitting on the side of the road or whatever, and we walk past them, or we walk across the street, and then they're the ones who help them. We're all in this, and we all have different levels of that. It's the same thing with anything in our lives. We tend to want to put ourselves first. We worry about what the law is telling us to what we should do, or what we think a law is telling us what we should do, and so we ignore the basic needs of people while we're trying to keep our lives together as we live them out, and it's a struggle. So loving our God is the important part of everything, and we try to do that. And loving our neighbor, I think we say we try to do that, but we really do struggle with helping our neighbor. And we have to remember the Samaritan, he's not necessarily a well-liked person in the Jewish community. And so that's one thing. And then the Jewish people who are walking past him are ignoring him, even though know the law. And so they're prompting them with other thoughts. Well, maybe, I don't want to get blood on my new shirt, or maybe I'm not supposed to help, or I don't know that guy, so I'm not going to help them. We hear that a lot. We hear that idea that I don't need to help them because somebody else is helping them, or somebody else should help them. We're in a cycle with government right now that we think the government should be helping people. Well, the government's about the least efficient organization in the world when it comes to helping people. They're not very good at it. They say they are, but they're not. We spend a lot of money thinking that they spend a lot of money thinking they're helping people, when really in reality, the same dollar amount spent by you or I directly would go way further than them. So keep that in mind. So what I want you to think about is as we ponder this text today is, where are you in it? Are you the man beaten up on the side of the road? Or are you the first one who goes across the road so you're not near them, one that passes by them? Are you the Good Samaritan? Are you the lawyer, the one asking the question, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? Well, we know that the law can't do that for us, and that only Jesus can. And that's really what this all comes out to. What's important is our focus on Jesus and his path to the way of everlasting life. So ponder over those things today. Think about those. That's all I'm going to say about that. Still developing my message for Sunday. I'm not sure where I'll be with it, and so we'll see what goes on. So prayers today. Pray for the violence in this country, in the world. Too much going on. I'm not going to say any more about that. Pick one person, pray for them. Pray that that the Lord comes to them in response to your prayer. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. Grace, peace, and blessings to you. And as you go on your way, do take care.